ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मरुद्रम् ओम सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। हरिः ओम दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे श्रीमतात्मा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनं। Invoking God's grace and Puja blessings, I very heartily welcome you here for this Satsang. Before I begin the subject of Purajana Gita, I would like to tell you as to what did I unveil first. You see, Chinmaya mission now has been having many centers, and whenever particularly a new center also comes up and it is inaugurated, and generally question arises as to what are you going to do here in this center. That is a question. Why you have built this? So therefore, in this one shloka, which I wrote some time back, that tells us what is this center for. So I will read it. Later on you can see there and see the translation. जयतु जयतु केन्द्र सर्वदा चिन्मयाख्यः भवतु भवतु चात्र वेद वेदांत बोधः भजतु भजतु भक्त्या देवमादिं जनावै वसतु वसतु लोके शोभनः कर्मयोगः. Point is, may our center Chinmaya Akhya. Now, Chinmaya, what is common then? There are other names are there. So, here this is called Badri center. Badri, Yamunotri, Kedar, Kashi, Ityadi. Now, may this Chinmaya center shine, ever shine, victoriously, successfully. That means it should achieve its aims and objectives. But what is that? So, bhavatu bhavatu chatra veda vedanta bodha. What we want, that in this center there should be the regular study of the Veda, Vedanta, Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, and all the Vedantic scriptures. But our knowledge should be sweetened by devotion. Therefore, it says, bhajatu bhajatu bhaktya devamadim janavai. And all those who come here, may they worship the Lord and fill their heart with love for God. That's why in every center we have a deity. Now here Badri Narayana Bhagavan is here. Somewhere Lakshmi Narayana. Somewhere Radha Krishna, Lord Shiva, Rama, right? There are various forms of that Lord. So Jnana Bhakti and Vasatu Vasatu Loke, Shobhana Karma Yoga, and may the spirit, beautiful spirit of Karma Yoga abide in every person here. That represents Seva Bhava. So, this center or our mission is devoted to knowledge, devotion and service. And if this is practiced, then there is one's own spiritual growth, inner transformation that one can feel, and also one can serve everybody. A clearer vision and greater commitment. That is the shloka. Okay, this is what I unveiled just now. and we are trying to put all these plaque everywhere in all our centers. It is written in Sanskrit shloka with an English translation there. Okay, now we begin our text. Before that, let us sing the name of the Lord first. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Today and tomorrow, in the evening, with 2 talks, we are going to listen to the message of Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra Ji to his dear citizens of Ayodhya. Now transport yourself to Ayodhya and listen to that. This message of Bhagavan is known as Purajana Gita. Even though the word Gita literally means what is sung, a song, and also popularly Gita is known as the teaching of Lord Sri Krishna to Arjuna, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So when you hear the word Gita, you always remember that. But in Sanskrit also there are so many Gitas. And in Tulsi Ramayana also there are at least 7 Gitas are there. This Gita is understood as a spiritual teaching, Adhyatma Upadesh. It can be Dharma Upadesh, Adhyatma Upadesh, and that is known as Gita. Now here, Pura is Ayodhya Pura, Nagari, Ayodhya Nagari. Janam is people. So people of Ayodhya, and Bhagavan spoke to them. And what he spoke to them, that is called Purajana Gita. And this is found in Sri Ramcharitmanas of Goswami Tulsidas Ji. Namah Shri Tulsidasa Sadvaristhaya Dhimate Puritam Hridayam Yena Rama Prema Amrite Name. We bow down to Goswami Tulsidas ji, and then see what he has written so beautifully. In Sri Ramcharitmanas there are 7 cantos, and the last canto is known as Uttar Kanda. Bhagwan Ramchandra ji returns to Ayodhya with Sita ji, with Lakshmana, and also Hanuman, Vibhishana, etc. He is coronated, Rajabhisheka takes place, and one day Bhagwan invites all people of Ayodhya. एक बार रघुनाथ बोलाए, गुर द्विजपुर वासी सब आए. Bhagwan invited all the citizens of Ayodhya, or Brahmanas, Gurus, and Baithe Guru Muni Aru Dvija Sajjan. And all these people took their seats. And when they sat down, Bole Vachana Bhagat Bhav Bhanjan. At that time Bhagwan spoke, and his words are destroyers of all our bondage of samsara. Now what he said, that we are going to see. Now you have a book, Purajana Gita, but I say you just listen to me. Later on you can see all that. Because all the shlokas are given there in splits, so you keep on searching sometimes. So what is his message? First of all, we have to see, why did he call them? Why did he speak? Of course we know that the head of the state, the nation, sometimes addresses the people of his nation. No? President's address to the nation on certain occasions. But here, it is not only just certain occasion that Jesse thought of speaking. But this is one part of the fulfilling the duty and responsibility of a king. And when we say king, we mean the government. Government has certain duties. Now in different countries, the form of the government may be different. Even in democratic setup, we find in America it's the presidential system, the other places are parliamentary system, and in the Middle East and all that, even their kings are there even now also. King of Saudi Arabia and all. Or the communist form of government, that's there in China and all that. Governments are there. Now, what are the real duties of the government? That also is described, actually Raja Dharma. But I will tell you in this simple form that which is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. There are 3 most fundamental duties of a king. The first and foremost is that king must give security to the citizens, and not only what I call the security, but they must have the sense of security. They should feel secure. See, having the security is one thing, but to feel that you are secure is something different. For example, to have the security, you appoint security guards. Security is given. But do you still feel secure? I heard once in one country, the rich people were being kidnapped. They were kidnapped. So the rich man appointed security guard. They only kidnapped him. So you may have the guards. In India, the Prime Minister was killed by the security guard only. So to feel security is something different. You know, a little child feels very secure with his lean and thin mother and not with a wrestler. Even though the wrestler can take care of that child, but the child doesn't feel very, very secure. Right? So that feeling is different. So Rakshita, first that king should be Rakshita. Rakshita means protector, providing security and sense of security. Everybody should feel that. Every government has to do that. And second very important is Vrittiraha. That means the one who provides employment to all people. Even today's world also, there where 100% employment is there, they will say that is the best country, isn't it? I have no idea what is here the unemployment rate or whatever is that, but everywhere it is different. And there where the unemployment is too much, do you know that the crime rate will go up? Because when people don't have work, either empty mind devil's workshop, or they have to earn this way, that way, the right way, wrong way, so the crime rate will go up. But if all are employed gainfully, properly, profitably, then automatically everything is very nice. Vrittira. But the third thing is very important. These are basics. Roti, kapda, makan. Food, clothing, shelter, security and all. But the third is called Dharma Shiksha. Dharma Shiksha means, in modern terminology we call it as value education. People must have an altar of dedication in life. See, when we talk of the values or virtues, question is, why should I follow that value? Why should I cultivate that virtue? So there has to be an altar of dedication for such and such goal that I have to be. For example, I follow honesty. You know why? So that my business will prosper. No, it's a very good thing. But suppose business prospers, after saying, now I can go little compromise also. Because that goal is very different. But if I say I follow honesty because realization of truth is my goal, then it cannot be just a temporary kind of one. And what is the difference between value and virtue? Because sometimes we get confused about that. For example, truthfulness, is it a value or a virtue? So when we scratch our head, I think it is a value, I think it is a virtue. Then what is the difference? There is a difference. As long as you value it, respect it, then it is a value. But when you imbibe that, inculcate in your life, then it becomes a virtue. This is the difference. Most of the time, majority of people respect great wonderful values and ideals, isn't it? But most of them say, well, it's so difficult to practice. To convert that value into a virtue. So if I live that life, that's okay. Vratam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, that I shall not only just in speak, but I'll bring that in my life. Then it becomes a virtue. So, Bhagavan says that it is the duty of a king that not only they should just give security, food, clothing, shelter, employment, and then physically, materially they are happy. That is not enough. Because if this value system is not there, then when all the prosperity is there, then they don't know what to do now. Now what? Because there is no greater goal. And also Shastra says, if the king does not teach this to people, himself following it, he has to follow this and also teach the people that this is what he expects and they want them to do. And if this knowledge is not given, and if then people do wrong things, if they commit sin or adharma, unrighteousness, then their papa, the sins will come to that king. He will have to go through. You know, there is a rule. Pratyaparadhe Swami Tejomayananda. If the sevak commits mistake, the master should be punished. Isn't it? In this our day-to-day life also we find, if a child misbehaves and all that, then people ask, whose child is that? And they say, did his parent teach anything to that? Because there some blame comes to them also. Because they are not taught. It is their responsibility to teach. Whether the students or boy learns everything or not, that is another thing. But your duty is to teach. And teach them when you take a step. Look. I go to someone's house. It happened. College student, mother up, touch his feet. So that's Swami. He said, why? Now where will I look? Because a silent dialogue is going on about me. So I look somewhere else. And then I tell that mother, but why you are bothered? You just leave, no? Why you are forcing him just to? He should learn our culture. Now this is the only time to teach culture now. This is not the way of teaching. So, it's a very different kind of thing, you see. So what I say, it is duty of parents, teachers, at least expose them to that, give those opportunities, teach. Then how much they inculcate, leave after they have got their own mind also. That is a different thing, you know. But this is how it will come. That's why it is said, the king who does not pay. Now here also you know, suppose some person is arrested, that person is given all his rights, you know, you have got these rights and all that. And also all the no parking zone. Everything is given there, and still if you do it, then there will be a problem. But they have to inform others say, but I want never for it. Isn't it? And the instruction also should be very clear. It was a fine for parking. He thought it was fine for parking. things that keep on happening. The laws also will have to be informed and people also will have to learn and then go. So Bhagavan said that according to Shastra, these three are the most important duties. Security, employment, and value education in the form of an altar of dedication in life, so that you follow those values. Now one thing I want to tell you. Even though it is said the government's duty, the king's duty, but isn't it every person is head of the family? Somewhere is the head, Somebody will be the head of the organization, have the family or the state or the whole nation and all that. So it is the responsibility each one of us. Now the parents, they have to give security to their children. They have to educate them so that they will have their employment also. And along with that, samskar also is necessary. This samskar, what we call education, that's what our specialty of our Chinmaya mission when we do. All the Bal Vihar classes, or teenager classes, Yuva Kendra classes. Don't only give car to your child, but also sanskar. कार वाले बहुत मिल जाते, संस्कार वाले नहीं मिलते. The people are there, they have a car, and then what the way they drive. Hanging on this lamp post, throwing away that garbage can, then hitting that person. Finally, that police caught him. And he said, "Where is the license?" He said, "Are you kidding? Do you think anybody will give you license with this kind of driving?" Okay, I think now this is enough. Now we come to what Ramchandra said. So, this shiksha is, king must tell people what is that he himself respects, follows, and expects from people. If you don't tell and then you blame people, then it is not right. So now let us see. सुनहु सकल पुर जन मम वाणी, कहु न कछु ममता और आनी, नहीं अनीति नहीं कछु प्रभुताई, सुनहु करहु जो तुम ही सोहाई, सोई सेवक प्रियतम मम सोई, मम अनुशासन माने जोई, जो अनीति कछु भाषो भाई, तो मोहि पर जहु भय बिसराई. सुनहु सकल पुरजन मम वाणी. O citizens of Ayodhya, please listen to my words. Kahau na kachu mamata ur ani, and I am not speaking with some attachment and possessiveness in my mind, in the sense, but the attachment, oh, these are my people, so whatever I tell them, they will follow it. I don't take things for granted in that way. There is no such attachment, or there is no such attachment that you have to follow it like that. And nahi aniti, nahi kachu pravuttai. And what am I going to speak? It is in keeping with the niti. Niti is a very difficult word to translate, but niti means that which leads you to the higher goal. Ni means to lead. Therefore, this is called dharma niti. The teachings of dharma which will take you to the higher world. Rajniti, politics. Arthaniti, that is the economy, the science of economy. So niti word has got different meaning. Niti means policy, niti means law, niti means strategy, yuddha niti. What is the strategy you are going to follow in life? Niti means ethics also. So what I am going to speak is not something unrighteous or unethical. And nahi kachu prabhutai. And there is no bossing over you. Sometimes no attachment is there that they should follow. And sometimes the bossing is that thou shalt do it. So there is no such thing. There was a dictator, and in his kingdom there was only one TV channel. And only he used to appear and give lecture. The people got fed up and requested him to have another channel. So he said, okay. So channel number 2. But when the people switched on to channel number 2, he was standing with a rifle and telling them turn to number 1. Such kind of dictator, all that. No dictatorial kind of attitude. Sunahu karahu jo tumhi so hai. You listen to me and then yathechasi tadha. And then if you like it, you do follow it. But one thing I want to tell you. The one who will follow this teaching, he will be very dear to me. Soi sevak priyatama mama soi, mama anusasana mane joi. I have given you the freedom to follow it or not. So even if you don't follow, not that I am going to punish you or banish you from the kingdom or anything like that. But if you follow, then you will be dear to me. You know why? Because the teaching is for your own good. So naturally, if you follow, it will do all good to you. And seeing you growing very well, naturally it will give me joy. That's what we are doing here. Jo anite kachu bhasho bhai, but if I speak something against dharma niti, ethics or anything like that, to mohi bar jahu bhaya visar, then without any fear, hesitation, you can stop me from talking. This much freedom is given to these people. So even though from one standpoint Ram Rajya was dictatorial because he was the king, but it was more democratic. To mohi parajamu bhaya visarai. Now, what is that you want to say? Let us see that now. बड़े भाग मानुष तनु पावा, सुर दुर्लभ सब ग्रंथ निगावा, साधन धाम मोक्ष कर द्वारा, पाई नहीं परलोक सवारा, सो परत्र दुख Please understand one thing, that you have got this human form, human life, is a result of great fortune. Bade bhaga manush kanupa. Someone say, what bade bhag? Population is increasing. So that means easily you are getting it. Oh no. You see, if you look at the very number of the jivas that is there in this world, huh? What is the population of human beings? It's so insignificant. Jantu nam narajanma durlabha. You see, I could have become a rat or cat, a cockroach. But I have not become a cockroach. No, just think of it in that way. Then only you will realize what. If I had become mosquito and coming on your path, you would have hit me one. Just think. If I had become a fly or a mosquito or insect, bacteria, virus, पता नहीं क्या क्या बन जाता तो when you think like that and then you say I am a human being, what a wonderful thing है, बड़े भाग मार्शन. Now see, this human form that we have got, that has come to us. One is we must have done some punya karma, that is number one. But more than that, God's grace. So this some merit blessed by the Lord, and then we got this human form. Now there are people who may not have this kind of feeling of this punya karma, God's grace. Some people, I don't know why they are so allergic or so, everything. That doesn't appeal to me at all. But do you like Darwin's theory of evolution? Yeah, Darwin's theory of evolution. So even from that standpoint, isn't it human form is the most evolved form that you will have to accept or not? Most developed form. This is the roof and crown of creation. Very good. That you can accept? Yes. And even if you don't have a Darwin or a Vikas, but even just you observe the trees and plants and animals, birds and then human form, it is most developed one. That is very clear. All the progress that is there in the field of literature, arts, science, commerce, business, politics, technology, and then yoga abhyas, and the yajna yaga, and the Vedanta, or anything that is there, is only human like possible or not. Say something. Yes. That's what I can say. बड़े भाग मानुष तरुपा सूरत दुर्लभ सब ग्रंथ निकावा. And if you have Shraddha, faith in Veda, Shastra, Purana, they say it is difficult for the gods to get that. They are also envious of us. Because this human form is so wonderful. What is the speciality of it? Sadhana Dham Moksha Karadvara. Sadhana Dham. It is the very abode of all practices. Just now as I mentioned, not only spiritual practice, literature, music, dance, painting, sculpture, and any kind of art you take. Prose, poetry, everything, right? As I said, politics, economics, any field. Science, technology, you have gone to the moon and want to go to Mars and Venus and all that. Right? All the explorations are going on, That is possible. How many kinds of researches are going on in different fields? That is possible only in human life. So sadhan dham. In any field you take. But the most important is moksha karadvara. It is a gateway to liberation. All other progress is very good. But that will not liberate us from our bondages. And what is bondage? Bondage is not somebody tying us down like that. But our bondages are very inner bondages, psychological bondages. desire, anger. We are bound. We are bound. And the result of all this is what? Shok, moha, bhaya. Shok, grief. Bhaya, fear. Moha, delusion. And all other things nowadays called. The most common is depression. For now, people are going through a depression. Boy, severe. Sometimes suicidal, homicidal, I don't know what, all kinds of things they will do. Dangerous. How many young people are killing themselves? They just don't know what to do. Little things upset. Desire is frustrated, somebody said something, and that's all. Murder. What is this? These are extremes. Shoka moha. Grieving over the past, fearing the future, confused in present. Therefore, all the three periods of time in English are called tense. Because you become tense. Past tense, present tense, future tense. Is that it true? Mochakara dwara. This is the gateway to liberation. Now something interesting. It is said even a thief, before entering into a house, first make sure the escape door, from where to escape. Then only he enters. Here also I see exit. You know, all the hotels and all. In aeroplane also they say, in emergency you should know where your exit, how to get out. I heard in one IIT in India, that in the night, the students they found that things were missing and going away. So they say that, let us see that who is doing that. So they kept a vigil. One young man entered. The clothes were very minimum he was wearing and all that. And then somebody apprehended him, that catch him. They ran. Somebody even caught hold of his hand. But do you know? He had put so much oil on his body, his hands slipped. And he ran away. Because he knew that they would try to catch him. It was so slippery. The hands were slipping, they could not catch him. Now just think. These people also want to know how to get out. And we should know. And we have come in this samsara and we never thought how to come out of it. We only, our condition is, as Shankaracharya given an example in one place, like a silkworm. This silkworm, it gets caught in its own cocoon completely. Then they put in the boiling water and all that. You see? So we are just bringing out certain things from our own sankalpas, and then we are binding ourselves. We don't know how to release. Abhimanyu also knew how to enter the Chakravyuha, did not know how to come out. And therefore got caught. See, moksha is possible only in this human life. Samsara bandhana. All other progress is very good. Whether literature, art, science, etc. All that is very good, no doubt about it. But the only thing we can do in this is release ourselves from all suffering. Bandha mukti is possible. Payina jihi para loka sumaya. And Bhagavan says the one who has gained his human life, but he does not work for the other world. Other world means the moksha. Then, so paratra dukha pavahi. Then in this world, of course, he suffers. And if he, after these days, whichever world, other world he goes, there also dukkha pavahi. There also he meets with sorrow. It is a stress-free life. Means free stress available. Wherever goes. And still dhuni pashtai. And then afterwards goes on regretting, repenting. Why did I do that? Why I didn't do that? And then he bangs his head on the wall, but the wall breaks not his head. Paratra dukha pari. But even they see, he doesn't own any responsibility that my sorrows are caused by myself. Then again he blames someone else. He is very good at blaming him. Kalahi, karmahi, ishwarahi, mithya dosha lagai. And then he falsely accuses on other factors for his sorrows. Kala is time. Karma, that also not some, his own karma, somebody's karma only. Or past karma, or Ishwarihi. Or if no one is available, Ishwar is always available. God is available, blame that God. The point is, then he doesn't own the responsibility that made something wrong with me. That I got this opportunity and then I am not using it properly. Knock jokes are there. Knock. So they say, who is there? Opportunity. So the man from inside said, you cannot be opportunity because opportunity doesn't knock twice. Avasar bar nahi aaye. Opportunity doesn't come again and again. Or Gurudev to say when the opportunity knocks at our door, either we are sleeping or out of station. So this human life that has come, and here we can liberate ourselves, so but not doing that blaming. My planetary situation is not good. My karma, what to do, my past karma, I don't know which karma, what I do. I think God is very unkind to me. Whenever he manufactures any sorrow, the first parcel comes to me only. In his address book, my phone number is first I think. All kinds of things that Bhagavan says. Now Bhagavan said, now when you have gone this human life, what you are doing is that is the purpose. Now let us see. एहि तन कर फल विषय न भाई स्वर्गौ स्वल्प अंत दुखदाई नर तनु पाई विषय मन देहि पलटि सुधाते सठ विष देहि काहि कबहु भल कहि न कोई गुंजा ग्रहि परस मनि कोई जोनि प्रमदय जीव अविनाशी फिरत सदा माया कर प्रेरा काल कर्म स्वभाव गुण घेरा कबहु करि करुणा नर देहि देख ईस बिनु हेतु सनेहि नर तनु भव majority of people having gained this human body, how they are employing it, in pursuit of what? Just think. Our senses are outgoing, so they see the world of objects and they are very attractive and all that. And Janma Janma, so many lives we have only experienced and enjoyed the sense object. So therefore we think to have more and more of this worldly thing, that is called the sign of prosperity. That is called the sign of status symbol. And even if you don't think of status and all that, but that is the only source of joy. Isn't it? Paranchi khani hai all these senses are added to it. So we think that this is the source of happiness. So we go on indulging it. And some people then try to find out more sophisticated kind of pleasure. On the one has got that, then you say, look, पहुंच गया. This person has reached. That's what I think. Now Bhagavan says, यही तन कर फल विषय न भाई. Dear brother, yes, to see the world of objects, experience them, enjoy them, that can be a part of your life. It can be a phase of your life, but it cannot be the goal of your life. This we must understand very clearly. To give a very simple example, in your house, when a child is born, baby, you yourself bring so many toys and balloons and what they call teddy bears and so all these kind of things for that child. But when you become 15-year-old, then also carries he or she little doll. Do you like that? See, the childhood up to certain age, playing with these things, it will be wonderful. You will take the photograph, videograph, everything. But then don't you want that the child now should grow out of that and go to school and studies and go to higher education and all that? And there only if you get stuck, then it's an insult. The self-insult only actually. See, in animal life, they were not blessed with this kind of discriminative intellect. So they lived their life only at the level of sense organs. And they were satisfied with when they're hungry, eat, tired, sleep, and then progeny, that is good for them. Also, therefore, you never say, why a tiger should study some Shakespeare literature. Don't expect anything. Because their life is at sense level. But human beings are blessed with this faculty of intellect. So then shouldn't he live according to that status? To the dignity of human being? And if you do the same thing like that the same animals are doing, only that much only, then what will you do? That's a great thing. Bhagavan said, nobody says that, that you should not enjoy any word of object. That's not the thing. But that cannot be the purpose and goal of life. Then somebody says, yes, I know what is the goal of life. What? Go to heaven. Swargahu Swarpa Anta Dukadai. Bhagavan said, going to heaven is also not the goal of human life. Because that also will end in sorrow only. Because of punya karma you may go there. That itself is doubtful whether go or not. But even suppose it goes. But then, it will end again. So, that is not the goal then. नरतनु पाई विषय मन देही पलटी सुधा ते सठ विषय. So having gained the human body, and if he just indulges only in sense pleasure, then it is like throwing away the nectar and drinking poison. Palati Sudha, Amrutam, giving up Amrut, and vishali. What a foolish person is that. Tahi kabahu bhal kahai na koi, gunjagrahi parasamani koi. Nobody will say that person is very intelligent who throws away parasmani or diamond and picks up only some glass beads. You think that a very intelligent person? No. See, now tell me one thing. When you also travel from one country to another country and all, generally you bring something from there. What generally you try to bring, which is rare, which is not available in your own place, isn't it? But if you bring the same thing from there where it is available in the next door market also, let us see. Olden days, one man went to Japan and brought pressure cooker in India, and that pressure cooker which was available in India also. So first his wife thought he must have brought some electronic pressure cooker, something very special or this. But when she came to know it is the same pressure cooker which he already has or can get here, he brought pressure cooker, but her temperature went up. And she got so angry with him that I feel like cooking you first there. Now, suppose somebody goes to India and bring Ganga water from it. Ganga Jal is not available here, isn't it? That is very precious. So then you should bring something durlabham, isn't it? So now in human life, eating, drinking, having progeny, that is possible even in animal life also. But moksha karadvara. But moksha is possible here. Bhakti is possible here. Therefore we should do that. Therefore Bhagavan says, the one who throws away diamond or the philosopher's stone, that which converts even iron into gold, and then picks up some glass beads and each other. आकर 4,84,000 जोनि भ्रमत यह जीव अविनाशी फिरत सदा माया कर प्रेरा काल कर्म स्वभाव गुण घेरा. This jiva is not only the physical body. Physical body is dropped, the jiva remains there and takes up another body also according to different karmas, yatha karma yatha sukam. And there are so many 84 lakhs of forms of life or wombs of life. He could go all of them or some of them, and then going through Firda Sada Maya Kar Prera, and pushed by Maya. Maya means ignorance, wrong notion, temptation, attraction, glamour. So many things are of Maya only. And Kala, Karma, Subhava, Guna, Ghera, surrounded by, trapped by Kala, time, Karma, Subhava, Guna. These four things are giving us sorrow. Or joy also it can be, if it is positive. Now, is that true? One meaning of Kala is, what the planetary situations. Maya Rahu Dasha, Shani Dasha, Saturn. I heard a very interesting thing once. One man was going through difficult times, so he went to an astrologer. Astrologer told him, you are going through the phase of Saturn, Shani Dasha. So he said, what can you do? There are certain rituals you can do and you can be free from this. Then please suggest something. So he suggested, he said, you do this. said, how much money will be required? He said, 50,000 rupees. 50,000 rupees I don't have. I cannot do. Any other? He said, okay, the 20,000 rupees ritual also. Shorter version. 20,000 rupees, 20,000 is too much. But finally he came to 50 rupees.
Oh my God.
And still this man said, 50 rupees. Panditji, itara socho na. Please think. Then Panditji said, I have thought about it. Now, mister, you completely relax. Because what second is going to get from you now? He will be disappointed. So therefore, don't worry now. You just relax. तो शनि तरह क्या बिगाड़ना है? So anyway, different phases of that karma, and many people go that, oh, I don't know which karma I will offer. Guna, with different moods of our mind. Oh, these moods, and they are so volatile, and some people are too much, we never know what will happen to them, they are so moody. Kshane rushta, kshane tushta, rushta sushta kshane kshane. One moment so happy, another moment angry, third moment depressed, fourth moment delighted. One moment you will say, oh, you leave it to me, I will do that job. You take it, it is done. And then you say, is it done? What? So these moods, they just go swinging. And one is Swabha. Some people, nature. And nature is peculiar. Depressing, negative, pessimistic. Anything that he will start with no. This is just not possible. I don't think this will work out. I don't think things will work out. Not possible. Then his friends say, this is got a wrong attitude. Be little positive. Okay. Let me think. I am positive. Things will not work out. Nature. But remember, this kal, karma, guna, swabha, they can be favorable also. So his nature is very inspiring, inspired, enthusiastic also. Right? But these things control man. Why is so temperamental? Swabha. Little improvement is there. Earlier it was 50% temper, 50% mental. Now it is, that's called temperamental. But little improved now. Tapering now. स्वभाव है क्या करें? चिड़चिड़ा, इरिटेबल, इरिटेटिंग. कहो हुक करी करुणा न रही. But do you know what happens? Bhagwan sees compassionate Lord that his jiva has suffered enough. Now let me bless him, even though he doesn't deserve. But I want to give him this human life, a chance. Like so many times when the chance is given around, that is, even the person doesn't deserve, I say, we give a chance, one opportunity. So that Bhagavan gives that. Det isa binu hetu sanehi. That Lord, selfless friend of all, he gives this body. What is that? Naratan bhava aridhi kahu bero sanmukha maruta anugraha nero. Bhagavan gives this boat or ship to cross this ocean of samsara. This body is a ship. Naratanu Bhavavare Hikaure. And Bhagavan says, Tanmukha Maruta Anugrahamero. And my grace is a favorable wind. Now see, earlier line he said, God gives him compassionately, out of compassion, this human form. And then he said, and there is my favorable wind in the form of grace. That means suddenly he is saying that God is beyond. He could not hide his identity because of his love for his citizens. And suddenly the third person becomes first person. He was saying that God gives, and then he said, I bless that person. Now the ship is there. Favorable wind is there. But captain has to be there. Karnadhara Sadguru Drudanava. And when you find a teacher, Sadguru, he is the captain of this ship. Sudurlabha Sad Sulabha Karipava. Each one of them is Durlabha. Difficult to get the human body, difficult to have that longing for this knowledge, very difficult to find a teacher. But if a person finds all this, and then Jaunatare Bhavasagara, Nara Samaj Asapai, that person who does not pursue or strive, does not strive to cross this ocean of samsara, Sokruta Nindaka Mandamati, that person is dull-witted. He is called dumb fellow. See, our friends are smart. What we call smart, according to spiritual, is dumb. Kruta Nindaka, and then goes on blaming other people, criticizing, blaming. Atma Hanagati Jai, actually he is suicide. That person is killing himself in the sense that we got such a wonderful chance to liberate ourselves from bondages. And if we don't liberate ourselves, then isn't it committing suicide only? So now what is the teaching? The first thing that he brought to our notice is the preciousness of human life. Second thing, this human life, in that the pursuit of sense object, wealth, material prosperity can be a phase in life, part of life, but cannot be the goal of life. And only if we spend all our life only in this, then we are missing the great goal and great opportunity. Then somebody said, Bhagavan, now you only tell us. You only tell us. What? How to reach that goal you are talking about? That goal, how to reach that? Bhagavan says, you want that? No, I'll tell you that. Coming to the next phase of our teaching now. जाऊं परलोक इहा सुख चाहूं, सुनि मम वचन हृदय दृढ़ गाऊं, सुलभ सुखद मार्ग यमाए, भक्ति मोहि पुराण श्रुति गाए, ज्ञान अगम प्रत्युह अनेका, साधन कठिनन मन कहूं एका, करत कष्ट बहु पावई को, भक्तिहीन मोहि प्रिय नहीं सो। ज्यों परलोक इहाँ सुख चाहो, ज्यों means if. If you want happiness, iha, here, and parlok, in the other world also, means even when you drop this body, then also happiness only. Jivan mukti, videya mukti, all that sukha if you want, then you read further. But if you don't want, you don't read. You know, make it sure whether you want moksha or not. Because it is said about this knowledge that if you get this knowledge, then even if you don't want moksha, you will be liberated. Therefore, be clear now only first. Nechannapi vimuchyate. You gain this knowledge and liberation. But I didn't want liberation. Well, what to do? Well, you got that knowledge. But I didn't want that. So why did you get that knowledge? ऐसे शास्त्र में बोला है, नेचर न विमुच्यते. Once you get this knowledge, even if you don't want, you will be liberated. I want to hear. जो इह परलोक यहाँ सुगर सुनि मम वचन हृदय दृढ़ करो. Then listen to my words and not only just listen, but keep in your heart. Please follow it at your heart and soul. सुलभ सुखद मार्ग यह भाई भगति मोरी पुराण श्रुति गाय. All the great stars of Purana, they say the best path for everybody is bhakti mori, devotion. Sulabha. This bhakti is sulabha, easily available. Sukhada, joy giving. Bhakti mori. See, certain sukhas may be sulabha, but may not be very sukhada, difficult. Or other way also. Sulabha, sukhada, both the things should be there, no? The sense pleasures, you easily that is available and all that. And then you think it is joy giving, but end all only sorrow only, the dukkha only. And if you do some penance and tapas, it will give you sukha, but durlabha, difficult. But bhakti is sulabha sukha. Somebody said, Bhagwan? But we heard that there is another path of knowledge. Jnana marga also is there. Bhagwan said, yes, it is there. But Jnana Agam, path of knowledge, is very difficult. Pratyuha aneka, and there are many obstacles in there. Sadhana kathina, and the sadhana, the practice of knowledge is difficult. No mana kahu teka, because there is no support to mind. Bhakti sutantra sakala sukha. Karta kashta bahu pavai ko. And if one struggles and gains this knowledge, but if he does not gain devotion along with that knowledge, then bhakti hina mohipriya nahi so. A person who has got all knowledge but has no love for God, that without bhakti, that knowledge has no beauty and is not very dear to me. Okay, now today we'll think about this sulabha sukha, about this point. Why it is said bhakti is sulabha? Naradji also said in Bhakti Sutra, Anyasmat saulabhyam bhakta. Whenever I think of this point, the best example comes to my mind that was given by our Gurudev only. He said, you see, if a rich person who has got plenty of wealth and wants to start a business, he or his son, anybody wants to start a business, will it not be easy for that person to start with? Why? Because the capital which is required is already there. Only he has to invest it. But if there is a person who has only idea, no money, then it will be difficult for him or not. That's why nowadays those who have got ideas, they go in search of venture capitals. They are called VCs. They go on presenting all their ideas. He has got idea, no capital. The other person has got all capital, no idea. So they say, okay, what is your idea? Give. Okay, I think it is okay. Here are $50 million to you. Let us see what you do. Right? But to start, they are not startup. So many are there which are startup kar rahe hain. Somebody is giving, then only you can start. Now, you see, path of bhakti is sulabha because it is path of love. And love is something we are already blessed with. Each one of us has got love. Whether rich or poor, literate, illiterate, educated, uneducated, whether little child or young man or woman, or senior citizen. Not only that, even the birds and animals, even the trees and plants, they understand love. This love is a very peculiar thing. A baby also understands love. Whom you call a challenged, differently able child also understands love. Everybody understands. But the power of thinking, arguing, understanding the argument for and against and all that, or a Sir Duktar Baba, headache. These arguments and arguments. Yoga abhyas, asanas, pranayam. वो आसन में बैठने nowadays even normal sitting is becoming difficult. Here itself I know when I used to come earlier, all these so many chairs were not here. But now the chair number, everybody chair person only. In India also. Even simple sitting is not there. What to talk of Padmasana? Something is happening. Swamiji, you are also sitting on a chair only. But I can sit on the floor also. Anyway, but if Padmasana, Bapre, one leg comes, the other leg doesn't come this side. And if they come, they don't know how to release them. Hare Rama. I am not criticizing, okay, any yoga or this or that. But Jnana Marga, Yoga Marga, or the path of karma in the form of rituals and all those worship, also is not easy. But in bhakti, this is not. It is path of love. Therefore, sulabha and also sukhada. Sukhada, because where love is, immediate joy is there. Sulabha sukhada margaya. Bhagat emotion. Whereas jnana agama pratyuhaneka, sadhana kathina manakahuteka. You see, interesting part, I want to tell you. In this path of bhakti, you take Bhagwan's picture or idol in front of you, so you can see, you can bathe, you can wash, wipe, put chandan, kumku, vastra, alankar, abhushan, dhupa, mara, ramiti, hondashami, navedani, vedami, and all do this puja, alankara. In other words, we are allowed to use our sense organs. So the sadhana of bhakti is much easier. And with the other path of sadhana of jnana and dhyana, knowledge and meditation, you say, close your eye, withdraw your mind. We don't know what the meaning of withdrawal. Don't see, don't hear, don't. All the senses are withdrawn. Mind is withdrawn. If at all it happens, that means you are sleeping. So, you have to sit with your alertness and all that. The sadhana is difficult or not? You see, because we are used to using our sense organ, so in the Bhakti Marga sadhana is much easier. But in dhyana, if you really follow that dhyana marga, then there is no support. That's why the sadhana kathina na man kahu teka. All supports are gone. I am only witness. So such a witness of what? Suddenly they get frightened also. Isn't it? Say yes. Because when you are forcing us to say yes, then you say yes. But the fact is, the path of meditation in the form of withdrawal from everything and just being that pure consciousness, the first place you don't even fully understand it also. But here, adharam madhuram vadanam madhuram nayanam madhuram hasitam madhuram hridayam madhuram gamanam madhuram madhurayate tilam madhuram. So then when you see Madhuradipati Bhagavan, aha, you are. How much Adambana is there? And Adam is so wonderful that as you go on thinking, automatically you go in such a different world. Therefore, Bhakti says. Let me tell you, we are not criticizing the path of meditation or any yoga karma or anything like that, but only pointed out it is one is difficult. One is not that there are many people who are able to do that, that is very good. But the thing is, it also must be soaked in love. Then it is beautiful. Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra Ji, in his address to citizens of Ayodhya, said that it is with great luck or merit that we get human incarnation, this human form. And it should not be wasted only in ordinary sense pleasures, but it should be employed in attaining liberation. And this can be attained through the path of devotion or path of knowledge. But he said path of devotion is sulabha, sukhad. It is easily available, joy-giving. Path of knowledge also is there. But, and it is our experience that it is not that very easy. And the knowledge is such that even if you gain, if you is sweetened with devotion, then it is wonderful. So this is what we have seen up to that point. Jo paralok iha sukha chahu, suni mama vachana hridaya viradahu, sulabha sukhada maragaiha bhai, bhagati mori purana shukitai, jnana agam pratyuha aneka, साधन कठिन न मन कहु टेका करत कष्ट बहु पावई को भक्तिहीन मोहि प्रिय नहीं सो. After that we have seen, now today we continue what Bhagavan says. Bhakti sutantra sakal sukha khani Vinu satsanga paavani punya punya vinupila hila santa satsanga vi samsruti karanta punya ekha jasamamu nahi puja mana krama vachana virupa par puja सानुकूल देवय देवा जो तरी कपट Bhakti Sutantra. The greatness of bhakti, devotion is pointed out. Bhakti Swatantra, Sakala Sukha Khani. It is the very mind of all happiness. Unless this bhakti is of the nature of love. And this love is what? When it is unconditional love for God, then that is called bhakti, devotion. Now he said here, bhakti is swatantra, independent. That means it does not depend upon any external factor. To give a very simple example, you see, all that which we know may not become object of our love. But whatever we love, that becomes object of knowledge, and you want to know more and more about it. Do you agree? You know so many people, your own relatives also. Do you love Allah? You sound you don't ask difficult questions. One day one wife told her husband, "You don't love my relatives." He said, "What are you talking? I love your mother-in-law." See, we know many material objects, many living beings, but do we love all of them? But whatever we love, even our school days, college days, whichever subject also we like, we want to study more and more about that. If you like a person, also you want to know more about that. And why we love somebody, we just don't know. It was very totally unknown, unfamiliar person also, and then first meeting what you start liking. But why? In the world, people keep wondering what these two people like about each other. Because from factual standpoint, according to them, there is nothing like that. क्या देखा इसने उस टाइम? तो उसको पूछो. So what did he see in her or she saw in him or what? So this love is independent of external factor. In Sanskrit also he said, "Vyatishayat padarthan antarkopihe na khalu bahirupadhin pritaya samsarayante." Love does not depend upon external factors, conditions. There is something, inner thing that which connects people or whatever. And whatever we love, we want to do that, action-wise also. And that action which you don't like, it becomes a botheration and tiring and all that. So bhakti swantra, sakal, binu satsangana pavahi prani. But it is said, but without satsang you don't get it. You see, just now you said bhakti swatantra, and then you say without satsang you don't get it. Continuing says, punya vinu milajina santa. And unless you have a mass of punya with you, you don't get even sangati. Sata sangati samsruti kar anta. But satsang is that which puts an end to all sorrows of samsara. So now you say, bhakti you get by satsang. Satsang you get by merits of many karma, janmas, merit. Now they say, what is the biggest merit? What merit is there? Punya ek jaga mahu nahi duja, mana krama vachana viprapada puja. And the greatest punya is to serve the feet of Brahmanas, mana krama vachana in thought, word and deed. सानुकूलते ही परमुनि देवा जो तजि कपटु करे द्विज सेवा. And when a person worships Brahmana, then even devatas are also favorable to him. Now what is the meaning? Now the idea here is, see, satsanga, a person goes to satsanga Even that also is a form of devotion only. And the satsang you get because of punya karma. That means whenever we get these opportunities of listening to satsang, attending satsang, company of what you call the sadhu, santa, bhakta, that we should understand it is because of the result of many, many merits. Otherwise we don't get chance. And that merit has come because you have what you call served the Brahmana is what? The sattvic noble people. You see, now the students also, if they have reverence for their teacher, then they learn better and better and better. But if they don't have that reverence for the teacher, then what happens? Suppose a student feels, oh teacher, your pay comes from my fees. You understand? Teach. That type of attitude is there, what you will learn. So idea here, point is, it is very important. All goodness comes to us only when we have reverence for noble people, great people, elderly people. That also is a form of devotion only. And when we have that devotion, that is a great punya. Punya is what purifies our mind. Because in serving someone, we have to give up our ego. There has to be humility. So then, the point here is, when you serve the elderly people, noble people, great people, learned people, then only you can have it. You see, in Bhartruhari, the great king, and he has written many Niti Shatakatya, one place he said, Yada kinchid nyomam gajayva madanga samaham. He said, when I knew very little, I became so arrogant, intoxicated, like an intoxicated elephant. And I thought, I know everything. Many times on young age, we have that type of feeling. Like, a father told his son, let us discuss about life. His son said, okay, what do you want to know? This kind of arrogance. You say, when I knew little, I thought I was omniscient. I knew it. Say, yada kinchit buddhajana sakashat avagatam. But when I came in contact with really learned people, wise people, then only I understood that murkhosmi. I came to know what a fool I had been all the time. Then the real knowledge comes. So that's why it is said, reverence to great people is a form of bhakti that will purify the mind. And because of that punya, you will get satsang also, where higher spiritual field also you will enter into. And then this bhakti. Now, another point yesterday also we mentioned, love is already there in our heart, but it is now mixed with so many other attachments. This satsang is meant for removing those attachments. Then the love is already there, it will manifest in its pure form. Like you eat banana with the skin without peeling it there. But if you remove that skin, peel it off, then it is already there. But the covering is gone. So in this satsanga, all covering goes away. And pure love manifests. Therefore, when it is said bhakti swatantra, it is swatantra only. Because all other forms are there, forms of devotion only. Whether service to noble people or devotion to satsang, that is all bhakti only. Now, Bhagavan says, I want to tell you a secret. Secret. We are very eager to know secrets. That word secret has got some kind of, attraction, suspense and everything one wants to know. What is the secret? What is the secret of... People keep asking, what is the secret of success? Secret of successful married life. Secret of successful business. Secret of success. Mark Twain has given some secret. Mark Twain, you know, he said the secret of success is ignorance plus confidence. And I have experienced the truth of it. Now, what secret Bhagavan is going to tell us, little let us see. और एक गुप्त मत सबहि कहो कर जोरी शंकर भजन बिना नर भगति न पावै मोर सियावर रामचंद्र की पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। भगवान से और एक गुप्त मार्ग, one secret I am going to tell you, which is not known to everybody. And what is that gupta? Sabhi kahu kar jori. What he said, I am telling you with my folded hands. Oh, what is that? Shankar bhajan bina nar bhagati na pavai mori. Without devotion to Lord Shankara, Shiva, you do not get my bhakti. You do not reach me, you do not attain me. Now why he saying folded hand, you know? Huh? Because there are some Shiva Bhaktas, they don't like Vishnu. And there are some Vishnu Bhaktas, they don't like Shiva. That's why they say, don't have that. Without Shiva Bhakti, you don't get the Ram Bhakti, you don't reach me. No, what is the meaning? See, when it is said, there must be some meaning. What exactly is the meaning of that? So you see, the Shastra where it is mentioned, they only explain. So in Ramcharitmanas, only it is pointed out who is Shankara. The very meaning of your Shankara is Shankaroti iti Shankara. The one who blesses you with all goodness, auspiciousness. That's called Shankara. Now, in the beginning of this Ramcharitmanas, Tulsidas ji has written that Bhavani Shankaro Vande Shraddha Vishwasa Rupinam Yabhyam Vinana Pashyanti Siddha Swantasthamishwaram. He said, I bow down to Parvati and Shiva. Bhavani Shankaro Vande. Who are they? They are the very embodiment of faith, Shraddha, Vishwas. He said, without that faith, even the great learned seekers of truth also are not able to realize truth in their own heart, even though it is there in their own heart. That's what Kabirdaji said, Mai Tuhu Vishwasi. When you have faith, then you get knowledge. The Gita also says, Shraddha Bhavate Jnanam. The man who has faith in the scriptures, literature and all that, such a person gives this knowledge. So he says, without Shraddha, can there be bhakti? Suppose I don't have faith in the very existence of God, can I have devotion for that God? So faith is the first thing. Whatever we want to learn or whatever we want to do, first thing is we have to have faith. Even suppose somebody asks me to do something and I have no faith in myself, I lack in confidence, then I say, I don't think I can. Not if I say I cannot do it, I cannot do it. But there has to be some faith, confidence in myself. So without Shraddha, nothing happens. Therefore, what is the statement that is made is right. Acha. About Shankara, it also said, Vande Bodhamayam Nityam Gurum Shankara Rupinam Yamasito hi Vakropi Chandra Sarvatra Vandyate. I bow down to Guru. Bodhamayam. He is the very embodiment of knowledge. And Shiva Swarupa he is. That means what? Lord Shiva is Guru Swarupa. Now without Guru also we cannot gain knowledge. Acharyavan Purusho Veda, that is what Chandra has said. That Acharyavan, the one person who has Acharya, teacher, only knows this truth. So we must have teacher and also faith in that teacher, then only we gain this knowledge. Correct? Do you agree? Yes. So therefore what he said is correct? Yes. Lord Shiva has got another aspect as the devotee. These Shiva, Vishnu, they are, they go on playing wonderful roles. Parvati ji asked Shivaji, why are you holding your chanting? What are you doing? Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattuliyam Rama Nama Ramane. Lord Shiva said, I just keep chanting Rama Rama Rama. Bhakta. So unless we have devotion to Bhakta, a devotee of the Lord, difficult to reach the Lord. That's why in Hanuman Chalisa it is said, Ram Duvare Tumar Khavare Bhotana Anagya Vinuta Sare. Let's say Hanuman ji bhakti karo, तो राम जी के पास जब राधा जी का नाम लो तो कृष्ण भगवान दौड़ते आते हैं. तो राधा राधा तो भक्त के थ्रू भगवान, गुरु थ्रू गुरु यू विल दैट, थ्रू फेथ यू विल दैट इज वेरी ब्यूटीफुल थिंग. नाउ हैविंग सेड दैट, he speaks about Bhakti Marga. Earlier it was said, Bhakti Marga is Sulabha, easy. What is the easiness? What is the ease in that Bhakti Marga? That is now pointed out here. Now see. Kahau bhagati pad kavan prayasa jogan mak japa upavasa saral sumhavan man koti nari jabha santosh sarani mor ras kahani narhasa karne to kahau kahani vishwasa बहुत कहोगा कथा बढ़ाई यही आचरण बस में भगवान से कहो भगत भगत कवन प्रयास. What is difficulty in following the path of devotion? There is no difficulty at all. Why? Because Yogana, Makha, Japa, Tapa, Upavasa, you don't have to do any of these things, not necessary. What? Yogana, Yoga Abhyas, Asana, Pratyahara. I don't have to sit in particular asana, Padmasana, Swastikasana to do bhakti. No. I don't do that pranayam, Kumbhak, Rechak, Purak, Bhasrika. No. Pranayam is not necessary. Wonderful. It's not necessary. That does not mean you should not do or need not do. It's not necessary. It's not a compulsory, it's not a must. Because the essence of Bhakti Marga is unconditional love for God. To have that love, you don't have to sit in a particular posture, then only you can have love. No need. Na makha. Makha means yajna yaga. I don't have to perform rituals, swaha. No, not like that. Na makha. But if you like to do yajna, you can do it. But it's not necessary. Japa also is not necessary. Arey, I thought it is Bhakti Marga Japa. No, Japu Ram, Japu Bhavare. So, which Jap to correct hoga? But if Jap when he said Japa is not necessary means you don't have to go on saying Ram, and continuously I love you Rama, I love you Rama, I love you Rama, I love you. They don't have to say on the See, whomever you have a love for, you go on chanting the name continuously. You don't want chanting. You remember what was the Japama? My son, my son, my son. Doctor, my daughter, my daughter. Japa is not there. I think Japa is other like an Anushthan. See, some people, they have to do Japa is a sadhana. Of course, it is a sadhana. And why that sadhana? As many letters are there in that mantra, so many lakh times you have to do the Japa. Lakh means 100,000 is 1 lakh. Right? So, Gayatri mantra, 24 letters. So, 24 lakh times when you do it becomes 1 Purajana Japa. Then 1/10 of that you have to do Havan. And 1/10 of that Brahmana Bhojan. No, Sara. बोले उस टाइप का जप करने की जरूरत नहीं. Remember, you can take with mala, without mala, but it's not all the time. Tapa, no penance, no austerity. Thank you. No upavasa, no fasting. Now see, you have to understand one thing here. When it is said in Bhakti Marga, it is not necessary that you have to do this asana pranayam or ritual yajna yaga or japa, tapa, fasting. That does not mean you should not do all these things. That's not the point. Those who have got love for this can do it. But what is most important, all this is there suppose. But if there is no love for God, then it is not complete. But suppose only one has got love for God and all other things are not there, it doesn't matter. One very simple example is, see, when you take a bath or you wash your clothes, what is the most important ingredient there? Water. Suppose you have got a variety of soaps and shampoos. Only water is not there. Or you are under a shower and you apply soap. So water is off. See, only with water you can have a bath. But only with all other things you cannot. But if water is there, then you can use soap also, this also, it is fine. But without water, so the place of bhakti is like that. With devotion, all these things are there, wonderful. But if devotion is not there, then everything is blunderful. Nothing there. That's what I am not saying that. Shankaracharya also said. Shariram surupam yathava kalatram yashascha ruchitram dhanam merutulyam manaschen dalagnam hareram hripadme manaschen dalagnam guroram hripadme tadakim videshe shumanya swadeshe sudanya sadachara vrutteshu matto na chanya Manaschen dalagnam guroram nipadme tadakim. He says, suppose somebody is very handsome, very rich, very virtuous and famous internationally and very political. But only thing is, no love for Bhagavan, no love for Guru. Then what is big thing? Right? So then what is that what is required in Bhakti Marga? Sarala Subhav Namana Kutilai Yatha Santosha Sadai. You see, nowhere Bhagavan has said that you have to do this yajna, then only you become my bhakta, or you have to build a temple, then only bhakta, or you have to bring some gold necklace studded with diamonds and then offer to some Bhagavan, then only you are a bhakta. He said, no. In Bhakti Marga, one is the unconditioned love for God and life. What is life is? Sarala Subhava. Namana Kutilai. No crookedness of mind and very simple, straightforward nature. That is called Sarala Subhava. Kutilta means what? I think one, say something, do something else, so that people can never understand exactly what I mean. They only understand one thing, I am mean. I am a mean person, that's all they understand. Crooked. I should put it in a simple word. Sarala Subhava means what? The one who respects everybody. And Kutila means one suspects everybody. Because you might always think so crooked way. Even if somebody greets you, I don't know why they greet you. Sarala Subhava Namana Kutilai. You see goodness in everybody. Your feeling must be all are essentially good people. The other person is essentially everybody is bad. Not that weird. And Jatha Bhava Santosha Sadai. And contentment. You have done your job, and whatever as a result that you get, be contented with that. In Bhakti Marga, that take care of Bhagavan, Prasad Bhagavan. Sometimes very wonderful things happen, very happy things happen in life. It's God's grace. Sometimes sad things happen. We just say God's will. We cannot use the word grace because sometimes our minds are like that. We cannot see grace, but say that's God's will. Okay, doesn't matter. Don't get agitated. Bhagavan said, Mora dasa kahai nara asa. Some people come in front of me, Bhagavan said, Bhagavan, I am your devotee, I am your servant, I want nothing from you. And afterwards they stay their hands at other people, they have more faith in people. Some say, Bhagavan, my brother is so great. I don't think you can help. I am going to be Prime Minister. I think he can help you. So that means you have more trust in as a human being. Bhagavan says he calls himself as my devotee and has trust in other people. So Bhagavan says, Karai to kahu kaha Vishwasa. Then how can I believe him? That's why our Bhagavan's Murtis are little smiling. Because Bhagavan has great entertainment. All these people come and say many things, but they don't mean and all that thing. You see, it is better to tell Bhagavan whatever desire is there in your mind. But in front of this world, you don't depend on them for that. Dependence must be only Bhagavan. Like all parents would like their children to tell them what they want. Suppose their children don't tell the parents and go to neighbor's house and tell, I need a car. The parents will not like that. This is the issue. Ask me. Huh? That's how it should be. Trust must be in Bhagavan. Anyashrayanam tyagaha ananyaga. That is single pointedness. When you do not depend upon worldly sources, but depend only on Bhagavan. बहुत कहू का कथा बढ़ाई, यही आचरण अवश्य में भाई. Bhagavan says, now why should I want any more and more? I will tell you the essential things about bhakti. These should be there. These virtues are there, then I say that person is a devotee. And what are they? Now let us listen to that. Dairana vigraha asana trasa sukhamayatani sada sabhasa anarambha aniketa amani anadharosha chavidyani Sada Sajjana Sansarga Trinasama Vishaya Sarga Apavarga Bhagati Pacha Atanai Sakhatari Dushta Sarga Sabha Muri Bahani Mama Gunagrama Nama Rasa Gata Mamata Padre Sukha Soi Jani Parasandra Sandor Siyara Ramadandra Kije Pavan Sukha Anumane Kije Umapati Mahadeva Kije Om Hari Sarva Sankara What is that which pleases the Lord? What is that pleases the Lord? Now Bhagavan saying, what pleases me? Not only pleases me, I become servant of such a devotee. Aham bhakta paradhina. Bhagavan said. And what devotee want, I do that. Oh. But you should not do devotion to bring Bhagavan under your control. Huh? What Bhagavan? Vairana Vigraha Asana Trasa. Vairana, no enmity. Gita also says, Nirvaira Sarva Bhuteshu Yasamameti Pandava. The one who has no enmity towards anyone, then that person comes to you. Bhagavan says, see, I love God, I say. And God is in the hearts of all beings. And then I have got an enmity towards someone. That means I have got enmity to Bhagavan only then, no? Huh? How is that possible? And when we have got enmity, then what happens? Either we become jealous of that person, angry with that person, and think ill of that person. इसके काम टूट गया, इसका एक्सीडेंट हो गया, मेरी practice make me an accident, or go and persecute that person, trouble that person. That's right. Is it a very good thing or not? There, no enmity. And remember, there are Ajata Shatrava. They do not have any enmity to anybody. Other person may have enmity towards him, but he doesn't have any. We have seen the very lives of many saints and devotees. Sometimes how the people misbehave, mistreated and all that. But they have no enmity. See, an Indian trust, interesting things are there. One thing is very, very famous, that is most popular, Puri Nadrawale Karamuka. Oh man of evil eye, blacken your face. But in some trucks it is written, Puri Nadrawale, where you ho bhala. Even you have got evil eye on me, but I wish you all the best only. So that was where no enmity, no Shatru Bhav. How can I have Shatru Bhav when I love God? See, even if we are not able to see God in all, but God is tolerating everybody or not. even if I am not able to see God anymore. But God has not stopped supplying of oxygen to them. God has accepted everyone. Then why are we? I had read one story. There was a man, his rule was that every day he used to give food to someone, then only he used to eat and all that. So that was very good. One day he was waiting and waiting for nobody came, and finally he saw a man. Babaji, he was looking like a Babaji. So he thought he was a spiritual person, sadhu like her. Sir, will you take food? Yes, I am hungry. And this man started giving food and all that. And he started saying, oh, God is so great. He gave me a chance to feed you, to offer food to you. That is, what God? I don't believe any God and all that. You are giving me, it is okay and all that. I don't care about that and that. So he started talking such a thing about God and all that. This man got so angry. You don't believe in God? Get out of here. You pushed him out and took away that food, whatever the plate was there and all that. Then he heard a voice, invisible voice. This man who was giving food. He said, my dear, this man never believed in me, but every day I gave him food. You could not give one day. Why you have to bother that he believed or not believe? What you are to give, that's an ultimate. He said he never believed in me. Yeah, interesting story that. How can I buy? Bhagavan is accepting you. Why should I have anything? And if somebody does not like me, then it is his problem, not my problem. I don't know why he doesn't like me. By vigrahana, and there is no quarrel also, no quarrel with anyone. Some people are very good picking up quarrels and picking up fights. Anyway, I don't know how they manage to do that. One boy came from school with a black eye. His mother asked, who gave you that black eye? He said, nobody gives anything free, you have to fight for it. Quarrel, fight. So it's very nature. So he has no quarrel with anyone. If somebody doesn't agree with him, or somebody has got different opinion, so what will you quarrel? No quarrel. Asana trasa. No asha, no hopes and false expectations. You see, we cannot remain without some hopes or expectations. But our hopes or our expectation should not be false expectation. The 2-3 points we should remember. Expectation should not be false. It should not be unreasonable. And third thing, it should not be insistence on its fulfillment. False expectation is what? I expect sweetness from salt. It is a false expectation. I will be disappointed only. And somebody is a great runner, and the other person is lame, because of physical problem. Now, if you expect that person also to run like that, it is unreasonable. Sometimes the parents ask, Oh, is it wrong to have expectation from my child that he should do something nice and bright and do well, he will succeed? Nothing wrong. Because it is not a false expectation, he is not unreasonable, he should. But you should not have insistence on its fulfillment. Because the child also has got his own mind. So you can expect, you can provide opportunity, you can encourage, empower, all those things. But when it will work or not, you don't know. So no insistence, that's it, no asha, no trasa. And when the asha is not there, trasa also is not there. Trasa is agitation, santapa. Trasa is fear also sometimes there. Then if you expect anything, then agitation is there. Fear also is there, I don't know whether it will fulfill or not. And some people all the time expect, continuously expect from everywhere. And if they are not fulfilled, then say, I don't expect this from you. I have so many expectations. That man said, you had so many expectations. I have only one expectation from you, that don't expect anything from me. I can fulfill that. But the one who has no asha says, false hopes of getting happiness from material things, false hope of getting security from material things, and false hopes from all the relative friends, even if they are good, but all the time they are themselves are not all powerful to help you all the time, then you are disappointed. And then one who is free from this enmity and quarreling nature and then hopes and agitation, then Sukhamaya tahi sadasava asha. The asha word is very interesting. Asha word is hope, expectation. Asha also means direction. So, the one who is free from such kind of hope, all directions, wherever he goes, he is happy because he never expected anything anyway. I heard one Mahatma once, long hairs, chatas, long hairs. So he was walking in one direction. The wind was blowing from behind. So his hair was coming in the wind of front. He was pushing them back. Then he said, how long I will do it? So he turned his face, started walking the other side. So now his hair were on his place. Somebody said, Babaji, you were going there. Where are you going now, sir? He said, I was not going anywhere. Probably this is also fine, that also is fine. And you know, one thing I learned, if you are not going anywhere in particular, you are never lost. Because any place is fine. Very different tone. I read about one president of America, I don't know his name and all that, but very earlier. One day he called the pilot of his plane and he said, take me anywhere, everywhere there is problem. So no need of a particular place. That is different, everywhere problem there. But if your mind is free from all hopes and all that, then everything is fine. Try. It's only our hopes, expectation, Then when you go there, we have got some expectation, that there will be this and that. And then many times, we have our own imagination, and that does not happen. But if you go without all that, then everything is fine. Anarambha. Oh, anarambha. That means this person, anarambha means doesn't do anything. Doesn't take up any work. Then somebody says, I was bad, but people never recognized me as devotee. They thought I was a lazy person, but today I feel very happy attending this satsang. Anarambha. Please, Bhakta doesn't do it. I am bad. Anarambha, literal meaning that, but what is meaning? These devotees know, generally when we take up any work or any action we perform is always for getting some result. material results, recognition, appreciation, or ultimately to find some happiness. But this person, all actions are rising from happiness. There is no ahankara in that, there is no swartha in that. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita it is said, such a person, sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mayivardate, karmani abhi pravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. That even though he is engaged in all karmas, but he doesn't do any karmas. Because he is never bound by any karma. That is something different. Anarambha means karmas are performed but without ego, without selfishness. It is only love of God that motivates that person to do things. That's called anarambha. Aniketa, literal meaning is homeless. So all homeless people are great bhaktas or what? And those people who are living in palatial houses, they are not bhaktas. No, anarambha means, and aniketa means the whole universe is my home. We want to understand. As Jnaneshwara Maharaj says, Vishwachi Maneka, whole universe is my home. Now just think, a person who has a very big house, and he says, this house is mine. And a Mahatma says, the whole universe is my home. Whose home is bigger? Whose home is bigger? Aniketa means no attachment to any fixed particular thing that this is only mine. There is no such thing. The whole world is mine. And wherever then you happen to be there, then that is your home. But if you fix like that, then you are so attached. And otherwise, I could sleep, Why? Change of place, change of room, change of bed, change of pillow. Kitna attachment ho jata hai. But you want to have no such kind of attachment. You go anywhere. Anam, aniket, amani. Amani means free from egoism. See, the mana is described as Atmani Pujya. They call Mani. The one who has overestimation about himself. I am so great. No one like. One movie actor was quite popular, and he had to be in the witness box, the court for something. And they asked him, who are you? Your identity was, I am the superstar, the best actor of the whole world. Later on his friend said, that sounds very arrogant. Why did you say you have to say that? You could have said, I am an actor. What did you say? The best actor of the whole world. He said, what? I was under oath. I have to speak the truth because I said, I shall speak the truth and nothing but truth. And in a public meeting, one man was introducing the public speaker. He said, we are very fortunate today we have got such a speaker who is a great orator, writer, poet, author, musician, composer, and artist. This is not my opinion, it is his. The one who has got, overestimation about himself, then he always becomes very demanding. That wherever I go, that I must be received in this way, I should be respected in this way, I should this way. That isn't it? If you read Vishnu Sahasranam, Bhagavan's name is Amani. Amani, Manalo, Manalo, Swami Tejomayananda. Bhagavan doesn't demand any kind of respect from anybody, but Manada, he himself only respects everyone. That's how it should be. Anaranga Aniketa Mani. Anarha. Anarha, sinless. See, we commit sins because of our personal raga, dvesha, likes and dislikes. Our own vasanas are there, raga, dveshas are there. Therefore, we commit sins. But this person is free from all that. Arosh, and free from anger also. Why should I have anger? No anger. Because anger also comes when the desire is frustrated or the ego is pricked. But he has no such kind of ego. No such kind of false hope desires. So there is no room for anger also to be there. Daksha Vijnani. Daksha means Daksha. Now what is the meaning of Daksha? Daksha has got many meanings. One meaning is dexterous, skillful, alert, vigilant. Oh. Actually, Daksha word is defined the one who is capable of evaluating the situations instantly, correctly, coming to a decision and acting on that decision promptly, efficiently. That person is called Daksha. Vijnani. Vijnani means what? Who has got realization of the highest truth. Not only the indirect knowledge of that truth or God, but direct anubhava of that. That's called Vijnani. A paroksha jnana who has got that. Wisdom here. Preeti sada sajjana samsarga. And he has got great love for the company of good people, lower people, devoted people, saintly people. He loves that company. Trunasama Vishaya Swarga Apavarga. And all the pleasures and joy of Swarga and even moksha is like a blade of grass. Trunasama. Like when there are some people who sit at the lawn, they have got habit of plucking the grass for nothing. They don't need, but they pluck. They put in the mouth, put in the ear. But when they get up, drop it, rub it off again. Vairagya. Swarga means the heaven. Heaven is called Swarga. Higher standard of living is called Swarga. Only Bhagavan says Swarga Swarga Anta Dukhadai. They have no word. Now, Apavarga means moksha. Even moksha they have a vairagya. No, what is moksha also vairagya? What is moksha? For moksha the word is Apavarga. In Sanskrit, ka, ga, ga, it's called ka varga. Cha, cha, ja, ja, na, ka, cha varga. Ta, tha, da, tha, na, ta varga. Ta, tha, da, tha, na, ta varga. Pa, pha, ga, bha, ma, pa varga. Varga is class. Pa varga. Pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. Pa varga. Moksha is that where pa varga is not there. Huh? So they don't use labial consonants. Papa, not there. Papa is not there. That's called moksha. Kaka is there. Jacha Papa is not there. Oh, that is this Papa, Papa, not there. Pa means papam. Moksha is not freedom from papa. There is no papa. Pa is phala. Fruit, results of. Because karma itself is gone. Jnana ki sarva karmani bhasmasat kurte. So jnana bhasmata karma so is phala. He is not bound by any phala. Pa, pha. Ba means bandhana. Bondage. Bondage is not there. When bondage, when we think that we are this physical body, that's our first bondage. We forget that we are Chaitanya Swarupa and then identify with the body and think we are this body, our bondage begins. That bandhan is not there. What a wonderful word, no? Bha with bhayam. Fear is not there. Moksha is what? Vigata ichha bhaya krodha yasada muktayavata. Freedom from fear. Na vibheti putaschane. There is no fear. And ma means maranam. Maranam is not there. Who says? Chaitanya Atma doesn't die, so that fear of marana also is not there. That is called moksha. Okay? Now when he said apavarga, this bhakta is dispassionate towards his moksha also means what? Generally moksha is we understand as freedom from the cycle of birth and death and all that. But a bhakta says, I want love of God. What does it matter if I am to born again, so what? I don't want to run away from that. If birth has to come, let it come. Because I have surrendered to God's will. Suppose God wants me to take birth here. I say, okay. Aratana dharmana kamarti gatina chahau nirvan janama janamarati ramapada yah varadanuna. That's what Bharatji is praying. He says, I am not interested in dharma, artha, kama, moksha. But whatever life it comes to me, it doesn't matter. But I want to be love of Ram. That's all. So, moksha also, what bhakta? Bhagati pacha hat nahi sakhatai. They are firm in the path of devotion. Nobody can waver them, unsettle them, shake them. But nahi sakhatai. But wickedness is not there. Means fanaticism is not there. I follow a path of devotion, but it is not there. But if somebody wants to follow the yoga marga, jnana marga, karma marga, whichever marga, no fanaticism. If they have to follow this only. One graffiti was there on the wall. Support peace, or else I will kill you. What is it? This is very strange. But you support this, that's very good, and you want people to support that also is very good. But otherwise you kill, what is that? That is dushtara. Crookedness, wickedness, fanaticism. A devotee, true devotee doesn't have such kind of fan. Dushta tarka sabaduri bahare. And dushta tarka, all fallacious logics, he never gets involved in. That's bahare. It's argumentation. What argument? If somebody is interested in learning something, so you have conversation, discussion, and everything, that is very good. But if somebody just wants to have this fallacious argument only, there is a very famous story about Kabir Das. One philosopher came to him and he said, I want to have a debate with you. He said, why? Because I want to defeat you in that argument and debate. He said, I accept my defeat now only. Because your aim is to defeat me, but I accept the defeat. खत्म करना है जबरदस्ती 3 घंटे में टाइम बोले वादो नावलंब्य. This type of argumentation, they are argument, you should not get involved in those. Mama gunagram navarata gata mamata madamoha. That person who is reveling in my name and in my stories and my gunas, gata mamata madamoha, free from all attachments, pride, arrogance, delusion. तापर सुख सोई जानाई परानंद संदो. The bliss that he experiences, only he alone knows. Other people have no idea about that. He becomes very personification of that bliss, supreme bliss. With this Bhagavan teaching him. Now see Bhakti Marga is so wonderful, not so much of doing, no, but filling the heart with love. Greater and greater love. Now what happened? When these people listen to that, what did they feel? What did they say? सुनत सुधा समवचन राम के कहे सधनि पद कृपा राम के जननी जनक गुर बंधु हमारे कृपा निधान प्राण के प्यारे तनु धनु धाम राम हितकारी सब विधि तुम करतार तिहारी असिसिक तुम बिनु देन को मात पिता स्वागत हे पुरहित जग जुग उपकारी तुम तुम्हार सेवक असुरारी स्वार्थ नीत सकल जग माही सपने प्रभु परमारथ नारी सबके वचन प्रेम रस स्थानी सुनि रघुनाथ हृदय हर्षानी निज निज गृह लय आय सुपारी बरत प्रभु पद कहीं सुहारी उमा अवधवासी नर नारी तारक रूप ब्रह्म सच्चिदानंद घन रघुनायक जह भूप रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सुनत सुधा समवचन राम के. Hearing these nectarian words of Bhagavan Ramchandra ji, Gaje Sabani Pada Krupa Dham ke, all of them held on the field, lotus feet of the Lord, who is the very abode of compassion. Don't ask how all of them at one time they were held on to it. What happened is love for Bhagavan was so much in their heart, they experienced that not in their own hearts, they held on to that. And Bhagavan can do all magic also. Everyone felt that Bhagavan was standing in front of them and they had victory. And they said, Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Tvameva Deva. Bhagavan Janani Janaka Guru Bandhu Hamare. You are our mother, father, teacher, brother, Krupa Nidhan, Prana Te Pyare, and you are so dear to us, like our own life. You are abode of grace. Or you are our body, your way, our health, our abode. Ram, everything only you are. Dravidam Tvameva, Ram Hitakari, you are only our real friend, interest in our welfare, well-being. Sabhaviditma pranatara. And you are alone who is capable of removing all sorrows, suffering of those who surrender unto you. Asisi katuma vinu deina po. The teaching that you have given to us, nobody gives this type of teaching. Mata pita swartha rato, even mother, father, they are also interested in their own interest, swartha. You see, one thing is, many parents in general, even if they teach their children, what do they teach? They want them to be educated and have good position, earning a lot of money, and settle down in your life. And idea of settling down means get married, have your own house, and things like that. Settle. And sometimes they have some feeling that you should do something for us also. But how many parents are there who give such vidya to their children which will liberate them from samsara? Doesn't strike us. Majority is like that. This is Hetu Rahita Jagat Yuga Upakari, a very interesting segment. In this world, there are only two persons who are our real friends. Only two. People are talking to Bhagavan. Bhagavan said, who are those two people who are friends? He said, look, number one, you. Tum, my Bhagavan. And Tumhara Sevak. And the one who is your servant. Whether you call Sevaka, Bhakta, whatever that. We say our Guru, Bhakta and Bhagavan. They are only our real friends in life. Swartha Gita Sakal Jagamahi, Sapane ho Prabhu Paramarthanai. All other friendship in this world depend upon the mutual interest of each other. Very difficult to find someone, serving anybody and everybody without any kind of interest. Sometimes I may be loving someone and helping without any kind of expectation. But to have that way for everybody and all that. I say I love everyone except my neighbor, I tell you. Some exception is there. Difficult. Even in dream also there is no truth of it. Sabake vachana prema rasa sane suni raghunath hridaya harshane. And when Bhagavan heard their words soaked in love, then he was very happy. Because they earlier also said, those who will like my teaching. Now see, in this teaching was only our good only. Bhagavan did not ask anyone himself. But if you follow it, our own good. Nija nija gruha gaye aaya supai. And then, taking leave of Bhagavan, all people went home. Baladata Prabhu bata kahi suhai. But only one topic for discussion was there to all of them, and that was the beautiful teaching that Bhagavan had given to them. They were only talking about that. Uma avadhavasi nara nari kutatu. Now, see in the Ramayana it said, Bhagavan Shivji is narrating the whole story of Ramayana to his beloved Uma. So Shivji, this is commentary of Uma. It is Uma, so commentary of Lord Shiva. He says, Uma, O Uma, Avadavasi Nara Nari Tatartha Rupa. Blessed indeed are all men and women of Ayodhya. And why not? Where Satchidananda Paramatma himself is their king. They don't want to talk of their hearting. Brahma Satchidananda Dhana Raghunayate. With this Purajana Gita, which is not very short but very sweet, and this portion can be seen. Okay. By God's grace, you will blessing in everyone. Would we share what we have completed? Now, only our prayer to Bhagavan is we offer all these things. His lotus feet and Gurudev lotus feet, and may they bless us all with this pure love. That's all. Very clean. Now sing one song, one kirtan. Here the prana ke pyare, so one song came to our mind. प्राणों से प्यारे नैनों के तारे राम हमारे मन में बसे dear like prana, star of our eyes, may that Rama dwelling where Rama is, there Sita is, and where Lakshmana is and Hanuman is at the feet. That all picture. Then Rama represents knowledge, Sita represents devotion, Lakshmana represents Vairagya, dispassion, and Hanuman is Seva. So where the Seva is, Vairagya is, knowledge is devotion, then everybody's life is fulfilled. That is all spiritual fulfillment. Okay? Then you sing the name of Nirvana. Huh? प्राणों से प्यारे नैनों के तारे राम हमारे मन में बसे हैं, प्राणों से प्यारे नैनों के तारे राम हमारे मन में बसे राम जहाँ सीता माता समीप सराही लक्ष्मण भ्राता राम जहाँ सीता माता समीप सराही लक्ष्मण भ्राता चरणों में हनुमत राम दुलारे चरणों में हनुमत राम दुलारे प्राणों से प्यारे नैनों के तारे राम हमारे मन में बसे प्राणों से प्यारे सेवा भाव और विरक्ति ज्ञान प्रकाश हो प्रेम भक्ति सेवा भाव और विरक्ति ज्ञान प्रकाश हो प्रेम धन्य बने जीवन सतता धन्य बने प्राणों से प्यारे नैनों के तारे राम हमारे मन में बसे प्राणों से प्यारे नैनों के तारे राम हमारे मन में बसे मन में बसे मन में बसे राम नाम कारकम सदा जपो रे 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 सदा जपो रे सदा भजो रे सदा जपो रे सदा भजो रे राजपुरे सदा भजो रे राजपुरे सदा
Ram